right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Focus on Liberia. Of course, this is Focus on Liberia, and we are broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. It's Tuesday, as always, and it is the hour of politics with me, Ansony, Sieh, your host. Welcome. Hit the share button. I got something very political for you on this, what I want to call a political Tuesday. A lot is going on. The president delivered his annual address. Many of you have had the opportunity to listen. I always like to read it, and I read it. I think I did a good job reading it, and I have something to share with you. I guess the question you want to ask me is there anything in that speech for which Liberians should be hopeful? Well, it is my job to bring you a political analysis holistically. And this is where you want to be. I will dissect the speech. I'm not going to cover everything, but I'm going to cover it comprehensively to the extent that you will get a gist, a detailed gist of everything, the lies, and a little bit of facts too. Folks, Focus on Liberia, the hour of politics with me, Ansony, Sieh, your host. And also the opposition was able to give a response. I will not go in detail about that, but I'll touch a little bit on it. Welcome to our broadcast. And so let's get started. And folks, I am here to give you a very good political analysis on the president's speech. And here we go. Let's get started here. Let me show you something here quickly. First of all, let me start with the delivery of the speech, and I'm not going to waste my time on the delivery. The president came, he read the speech. Of course, no one expected the president to come up with any kind of eloquent reading or delivery or whatsoever, so I'm not going to waste my time on it. But this is something that is important for us to start with, and that is, although the state of the economy is challenged, the fundamentals remain sound and strong. Underline that. Although the state of the economy is challenged, the fundamentals remain sound and strong. The soundness and strength is based on the hard work we have delivered over the past 18 months. Folks, I have a question for you. Are the fundamentals of our economy sound and strong in your opinion? I repeat, are the fundamentals of our economy, the Liberian economy as you know it, are the fundamentals sound and strong? And do you also believe what the president said, that it is because they have put in some hard work, and we can credit that soundness, that imaginary soundness that the president is talking about? He's asking us to believe that the soundness of the economy is based on the hard work that they have delivered over the past 18 months. Hard work? Really? Our president wants us to believe that he and his team have been working hard, and that though the economy is challenged, the fundamentals remain sound and strong. So let me tell you something. Do you all know when somebody says something is sound? Do you know what it means when somebody says this is sound? When something is sound, that means everything about it is in place. And so when we come to talk about our economy, isn't our economy in a free fall? It said the free fall. President Weah is telling you and me represent the soundness that he's talking about. It said the high inflation rate in the country. The President Weah is telling us that it is strong. The inflation rate in the country. Is that what he's talking about? When we talk about jobs creation in the country, you all know the unemployment rate in Liberia is high. Many Liberians can more lay posts than those who don't. And then here is our president telling us that the fundamentals of our economy are strong and sound, really. And that the soundness of the economy or the fundamentals of the economy is based on hard work that they put in the past 18 months. So we're going to be looking at the hard work that President Weah is talking about, that they put in the past 18 months. And you will be the judge to find out whether or not they were able to put in some hard work. I want to know what the president and his team have been up to for the past 18 months, for which he's reporting to us that though the economy is challenged, but the fundamentals remain sound and strong. I asked the question earlier. Do you know when someone says something is sound? When something is sound, that means all the components, all the fundamentals, all the variables are in place and they are working. And they are working for the better. They are not working for the worst. If you look at the fundamentals of our economy, given the living standard, given the cries in the street of Monrovia, when you call back home, everybody will tell you it's not easy. I want a President Weah does not know the meaning of those wordings. It's not easy. Does he not? So how can the fundamentals of the economy remain strong? Then we see people are protesting for pay every other time. Elections have just ended, and you all saw that election contractors, people the National Election Commission contracted to conduct the December elections, they had to protest before the final ministry will release money for their pay. And the final ministry did not even release all of the money needed by the National Election Commission for them to be paid. And so when the president is telling us the fundamentals of our economy remain sound, and I'm just looking around and looking for, where are the fundamentals that he's talking about? An economy in which employees are not taking pay, they have to protest? Do you want me to bore you about nurses and health professionals protesting? Have you forgotten that students, grade school students, had to protest one other time until our government went and tear gas those kids and they were crying because they went in the streets on behalf of their teachers, protesting for their teachers to be paid? And this is the soundness the president is talking about? Well, let me not beat on the president too much. Apparently, he's talking in tune here. Maybe the president is speaking in tune. Maybe the president is giving us the opposite. Because, folks, you know it and everybody knows it, that the fundamentals of our economy are not strong. They are not sound. The fundamentals of our economy, they are weak, and so weak that the economy is in a free fall. And so let the president now tell us about the fundamentals of our economy being strong. I think the president, he missed it. He missed it so bad. And let me tell you something, the economy is the engine for the governance of our country. If the economy, which represents the engine of the governance of our country, is this weak, as you all know it, from the person selling the Weah market down Weah side to the person selling, on the side of the market in Gorbachev, everyone knows it, that the fundamentals of our economy are so weak that they are not making profit, are so weak that prices continue to go on the increase, that they are so weak that living standard continue to deteriorate, whereas the cost of everything in the country has increased. And so I don't know what the president is getting this thing about soundness. And I want to remind you, we are doing a political analysis of the president's State of the Nation's address. Look, let me tell you something. The president went to work and tried to make some big news here. Let me show you something. Let me show you something quickly. Bear with me here, folks. So the fundamentals of our economy are not strong at all. They are not strong at all. The fundamentals of our economy are so weak that I can tell you the president is not telling the truth. Let me read something for you. In spite of these daunting challenges, our development drive has not been derailed. We understand some of the personal and collective challenges you face in your lives. We feel the pain you feel on a day-to-day basis as you seek to put bread on your table. I too have felt the pain of hunger and poverty. Of course, Mr. President, you have before, but I don't think you get it right now. I have mandated the entire machinery of my administration to recalibrate and enhance the focus of finding lasting solutions to the bread and butter issues facing our people. Therefore, there will be no room for error, no room for laxity. And I will tell you about that word later. All ministers and officials, take note. My administration's commitment remains unwavering when it comes to the transformational development of Liberia within the framework of an accountable and functional democracy. Let me take that off the screen for now. Seriously, President Weah is telling us that the fundamentals of the economy remain strong, and now he's telling us that he has experienced hunger before. Really? Have you experienced hunger before? And you see that the prices are in the roof, and there has not been any effort made to turn things in a positive direction. And this is all you have to offer the Liberian people? Words that are as empty as anybody can imagine? These policies that you and your team have been putting through or putting forth have not turned things around. And so when you are telling us that the fundamentals remain strong, and it is so because of the hard work that you and your team have put into place for the past 18 months, then I'm scared for Liberia. Hard work for the past 18 months. And you're telling us that despite the challenges, your developmental goal and plans have not been derailed. Everything, in my opinion, is derailed. And yet is the reason why everything is completely derailed, Mr. President, because the economy that should be able to be the engine of growth, to drive even your developmental plan, is the economy from which you should be able to get money to carry on all of these things that you are talking about. But that economy has died a natural death in your hand. The economy has died a natural death in the hands of you and your officials. So when you say that you have been working hard for the past 18 months, I come to think about it, Mr. President. The $4 billion that was printed to solve the liquidity problem in the country, has that helped? No, it has not helped. It has become even more difficult. for Liberians to be able to access their own money in the country? Is that the hardware you're talking about? Making it harder for Liberians to be able to access their own money? Making it harder for Liberians to get money from the banks? Is that the hardware you're talking about here? Oh, this is the hardware you and your team have been up to for the past 18 months, making it difficult for people to access their own money. I thought the hard work should be making it easier for our people to access funds, to access the Liberian dollar on the market, but they can't. So what kind of hardware are you talking about that you are telling us is paying off and that is responsible for the soundness of the fundamentals of the economy and that the fundamentals are strong? What hard work? The hard work of making it difficult for people to get money? The hard work of making it difficult for prices to go up? The hard work of making it impossible to come to a logical conclusion on investigations such as the death of the auditors? Is that the hard work you're talking about, Mr. President? 4 auditors died. There has not been a conclusive investigation as to who all were responsible for their death. Is that the hard work you are telling me about, Mr. President? Really? So you have been working hard. According to you, you and your team have been working so hard that last week you went to visit a school, Todmaha, right within the heart of Monrovia. And you was acting like you were so surprised that the schools were in dilapidating conditions right there in Monrovia at Todmaha, one of Liberia's prestigious high schools, right there in Monrovia. Found in a dilapidating condition, using chalkboards as old as 50 to 70 years. And this is the hardware you're talking about? And Mr. President, you're talking about there will be no room for errors. Wait a minute, folks. Wait a minute, folks. Really? President, we are telling us there will be no room for errors. Maybe you people want me to put it on the screen again. Maybe you people want me to put it on the screen again. Right here, I have mandated the entire machinery of my administration to recalibrate and enhance their focus on finding lasting solutions to the bread and butter issues facing our people. Therefore, there will be no room for errors, no room for laxity. All ministers and officials, take note. My administration, folks, President Weah is telling us there will be no room for errors. President Weah have had all of the opportunity to show that he has the presidential gavel into his head, and he has not been able to deliver. We have a commander-in-chief who is not in charge. And technically, this is a commander-in-chief. You want to know what that means? This is a commander-in-chief. CHEER. He wants to be cheer on. People should clap for him. That is the kind of commander-in-chief he is. He is the kind of commander who commands, cheers, claps, praises, sycophancy at the highest level. And then that balloons his ego. And he feels like a man. And he wants to lecture us here about hard work. Seriously. Oh, okay. The president tried to tell us that he has issued a lot of executive orders, 6 executive orders. And he will dare to tell us that the executive orders have helped to improve the living standard of our people. So we will be looking at executive order. But earlier, I promised you about the word laxity, L-A-X-I-T-Y. That word laxity means the president is talking about there will be no laxity, meaning that they're not going to be acting lazy. They will be strict. They're not going to allow anybody to relax, no laying back, nothing of that sort. And everybody got to be on point. Everybody got to be on your A game. That is what President Weah is telling. And then the question becomes, it has to take 3 years. You have to enter your 4th administration before you can come to tell us that there will be no room for errors. Have you not seen these multiple errors? Have you not had all the opportunities to show that you are in charge here and that you understand the bread and butter issue our people are faced with every day? Have you not had all these opportunities, Mr. President? And you come to lecture us on in the State of the Nation address with a bunch of lies, half-baked truths, and emptiness. And you think that's going to amount to something to impress the Liberian people that you are the commander-in-chief here? Oh, if this is the hard work that you and your team have been up to, then I don't know where we're going. This is hard work. Oh, part of the hard work is the fact that the president would travel and take 7 days to attend an inauguration. Is that part of the hard work? And we charter a jet to make that trip? And there will be a member from one member of his team, Bear Twelve, leaving the country for 13 days. He is at the gateway of the nation's economy. The economy is challenged by the president who are meetings. And yet, the guy at the gateway will travel for 13 days to participate in an inaugural celebration of a Ghanaian president. I can say just next door. And you're spending 18 days. And you think that is the hard work that is paying off here. We will get to the executive orders, folks. So, President Weah is telling us that they have been working hard. And folks, let's see some of the hard work that the president is telling us about here. All right. He blew his trumpet on roads and other infrastructure. I just nailed the economy, and most of my analysis here will be on the economy, because this government problem is the economy. The economy, and the lack of leadership thereof from the president to take actions on people who are in charge of the economy that is in a free fall, and he would dare muster the courage with bold face and tell us that the fundamentals of the economy are strong and sound. What a lie. What a lie. And so when the president sang the Liar Man's Son, and many of you will follow us here at Focus on Liberia, I did a political analysis. And some of you who are aware, you got to know that the president himself is caught in that canopy of liar man. Really? Sound? Strong? Jesus Christ. Oh, I have not heard any lie so out of place for just about anybody to see. And the president's speech was full of I will, the wills. We will do it. We will do this one. We will do that one. That was all that was in that speech. And so, folks, another thing the president captured in the State of the Nation address was the issue of the stimulus package, the rise. The president telling Liberians that 10 counties received their rice ration from the stimulus, constituting 40% of the total amount distributed. I mean, I was thinking, I was looking at them and saying, okay, 10 counties. How many counties do we have first? And now we have 10 counties. but then 40%. So I was just thinking, okay, how can you serve 10 counties and the 10 counties constituting just 40%? Well, first of all, 10 counties, in my opinion, should constitute about 80% of the total number of counties. And so I was hoping to hear that at least 80% or about 75% of the rice has been distributed to people that should have received the rice. But the president said 40%, 10 counties. And that other counties are yet to receive, and that the distribution will resume in March. Wow. This is profound. Folks, let me let you know. The president will not tell you the truth. Concerning the stimulus rice money, that money was tampered with. That money was captured in an audit report from the IAA. The Internal Audit Agency audit report that was leaked captured the funds that were allotted. That funds were appropriated and passed by the national legislature. And it's because there have been foul play with that money. That is why the distribution of the rice continues up to today. It's going to 1 year now instead distributing the one rice. Because of that, right, the government has to give a WFP $10 million. $10 million. And that distribution has not been done yet. And the president could not give, the accurate account. What is responsible for the delay, he won't tell us. He did window dressing there. So let's come to the president boasting about the executive orders. And the president talking about what you call, he said there will be no room for error. Really? President Weah, do you have, let me show you this quickly, folks. Let me show you this quickly. So yeah, you have it here. This is front page reporting after the president delivered his annual message, and front page is saying, ready to crack the whip. Front page asking question, whether the president is ready to crack the whip. And those of us who have had the experience of acting frisky when we were kids, we got whipped, right? So front page is saying the president is trying to impress on us here that he's going to be taking action against individuals who are not performing, individuals who are not up to the task, individuals caught in the web of corruption or corruption allegation. He's going to take steps against those individuals. And there will be no room for error whatsoever. Do you believe this president is going to do that? I don't think so. Now, the president does not have the courage to act. And that is one of the reasons we are having the fundamentals of our economy very weak and unsound. But the president will have you to believe that the fundamentals of our economy, that those fundamentals are strong and sound. That is the opposite. That is a lie. The president is a complete liar, man, for telling us. Everyone in Liberia knows that the fundamentals of our economy are not strong. They are not sound. They are sound. So that is a lie. And we will reject that lie every day because it is completely what it is, a lie and a lie. So, folks, this is one of the things the president was boasting about. The government has also provided $1 million to the Ministry of Education for private school teachers throughout Liberia. The government cannot even pay their own teachers regularly and on time. Well, they made that effort. This is true. It was announced that the government are going to make available, but the president will not give all the details. The $1 million was made available. Whether or not the project has been implemented completely, the president will not give us the breakdown. Earlier, I was telling you about schools. This government has not been able to make funds available for the renovations of all the high schools in the country. High schools around Liberia are in dilapidating condition. The examples I talked about earlier about William V. S. Thomas High School right there. Now William V. S. William V. S. Thomas High School in Sinka. In a dilapidating condition. They can't even get brand new chalkboard. No light. The roofs are leaking. You can see the water mark on the walls. And this is the president, this is the government that is telling us that is giving money to private schools. Well, they said they were going to do it. Maybe they made the money available because there was a big announcement about that. There were people dancing and celebrating about it. But why wouldn't the president tell us in the annual message whether or not that task was done and perfectly well? The thing is, we have seen money made available for small businesses, and many of you are aware of the noise between Jemima Wolokoli and Wesin Tape. Whether or not that was responsible for Wesin Tape removal from Commerce Ministry is another story that I may not be willing to tell you today. But I'll be glad to tell you there was money made available by the Liberian government to be administered by the Commerce Ministry for small businesses in Liberia. The noise was there. Jemima Wolokoli accused Wesin Tape. We have not heard any investigation. Akaras Gwe came and even accused Jemima Wolokoli of tampering with that money. Accusation and counter-accusation. That was a huge mistake. The president never uttered a word. Today, we do not know what's the status of that funds. Whether Liberia received that money in the first place, we don't know. We didn't get a breakdown. And this is the government that has given $1 million. I believe that loan scheme, it was around $3 million. And we started hearing all the accusations about this money. And you're not giving $1 million to high school teachers. I mean, private schools to help. I mean, I'm not sure whether that money got to the people in the first place. The president would not tell us. The legislature also approved the amount of $2.2 million for market women and petite traders support. This amount has been placed in escrow at the Central Bank of Liberia. Yeah. Central Bank of Liberia that credited $65 million from our commercial bank and has not been able to pay back. Our central bank credited about 65 million United States dollars from the commercial banks. Central bank has not been able to pay back. This is the very central bank. The legislature will go and approve $2 million, setting that money aside for market women and petite traders to support them. I don't know whether that money is at the central bank. Who knows what's happening to that money? Because at the central bank, we know what happens at the central bank. At the central bank, the government will go into donors' account and steal money without the permission of the donors. So if our government can go in the accounts of the US government, the government of France, the government of Great Britain, and you name the government of Germany, 9 diplomatic heavyweights near Monrovia, our government will go there and take their money and use it for purposes not intended. And is this the very central bank, folks? You're telling me we keep $2 million for our folks down Walloside and in my area of Nikrutan, and you think they're going to get this money? The fundamentals of our economy, according to the president, Weah, are strong and sound. I disagree, Mr. President. You're not telling the truth. So the president wants us to believe that everything is okay, even though we are challenged, and that is because they have been working so hard. You people have been working so hard, right? So let's come to the fight against corruption. I have not forgotten about the executive orders That's a juicy pie you want to wait for, I guarantee you. That is a juicy pie you want to wait for, folks. So, folks, the fundamentals of our economy are weak and unsound. In fact, terrible. And the president told a big lie. And he said they have been working, and working hard, right? So let's come to this. On the issue of accountability, this is the president that is telling us that we should trust him, that there will be no mistakes. Let me tell you some mistakes that are happening. Something very easy, like a low-hanging fruit, that a little child at the age of 3 can just grab that fruit, that apple, just hanging. Maybe the branch of the tree is so low that kid can just grab it and just put it in their mouth and eat it. It has been in front of the president. He has not been able to act. And this is the guy that is telling us that there will be no mistakes, no errors whatsoever, and he's warning his officials to take heed. No, I don't think they're going to take heed. No, folks, this is not President Weah first time making these kind of empty pronouncements and promises. Are you guys aware that sometime back, when the issue of asset declaration came about, President Weah gave an ultimatum to all of his officials that they should declare their asset? President Weah did. What happened? There are people in the government today who are yet to declare their asset. Some of them will justify that because they don't have anything to declare. Whoa. You should be the one to be the first to declare. If you don't have anything, just post 0, nothing, and sign. How about that? So you see, folks, the president would not even accomplish something that simple. But you know why? Because the president himself did declare himself in Zobush and would not make it public for the sake of transparency, which is expedient. Something he did before. Even the early his party has accused of being corrupt or carrying on massive corruption. Ellie did declare her asset every other time and did make it public. We did it in 2005, did it in 2011. Even when he ran in 2014 for the senatorial seat, he declared it and make it public. Upon becoming president, he said he's not going to do it. And he has refused and he has not done it. And he will come and tell us that his officials should take heed, no room for error, and that he will take action. So let me bring you the low-hanging fruits that been hanging right there. I gave you one. The official won't declare their asset. No action. Because he has robbed himself of the moral standing and moral ground to take action against these individuals for failing to adhere or yield his ultimatum as chief executive of the country. He came flat and would not act because he does not have the moral standing on that issue. Let's come to a guy called Wambodike. President Weah appointed this non-Liberian citizen called Wambodike. His name is Austin Dubusi Wambodike. In his language, they call him Wambodike. If you want to pronounce it like a Nigerian, that's a traditional way to pronounce it. It will be Wambodike. So Wambodike or Wambodike will be appointed by our president. He will go for confirmation. He will be grilled on his Liberian citizenship. He will not be able to show proof that he's a Liberian. He will go back the next day after promising the legislators that he will bring it. No knowing that man knew what he was up to. When he attempted to show proof that he's a Liberian citizen, we realized that Wambodike was a fraud. The man had 2 different birthdays. A different birthday on his so-called naturalization certificate that could not be proven by the immigration, could not be proven by any court in the Republic of Liberia. He had a different date. And then when they looked at his passport, there was a different date. Actually, 3 three different birthdays. When you look at the University of Liberia record, he had another different birthday. Liberia across the spectrum, even in his own party, have pleaded with President Weah to let this man go and relieve him of this position. He will not. This man lied on the oath. Not only one time, but 3 times. He lied on the oath. President Weah will not act. And this is the guy that our country, President Weah, is depending on to fight corruption. No wonder why no one get persecuted for corruption in our country. What it says with Weah and this guy here, a Weah cannot fire a Nigerian man who he has no connection with, no relationship whatsoever, who is in violation of our laws. Our constitution requires that anybody occupying a position at that particular agency of government should be a Liberian. He is not a Liberian. It has been proven over and over to the point that the National Bar Association, the organizations of all the lawyers, they were able to expel this man. Yet our president will not listen. And this is a guy that will come and tell you that there will be no room for error going forward, trying to use a big word of laxity that he's going to be straightforward. He's not going to be lax. He's not going to be slacking. He will be straightforward. He will be firm. He wants all his team to be on their A game, and that anybody who slips, he will use his presidential gavel to put the person in their place. Oh, folks, have you forgotten that the president and his party and his supporters have floated the idea that there would have been a major government reshuffle after the guy whooped in these going elections? Didn't they tell us that? Did you not hear about all our brothers and sisters in the CDC, including officials, telling us that we are recalibrating? Recalibration is coming. We have been waiting. Elections been over since October. Folks, a president will tell us that they have been working hard. What is the hard work that they have been up to? The fundamentals of our economy are not strong and sound. They are weak, they are terrible, and they are bad. Look, I'm not a numbers guy. I'm not a guy who deal with numbers. So excuse me a little bit for the numbers, but maybe I can bring a little bit of numbers here. Let me tell you that this government has experienced one budget shortfall after the other. President Weah, Finance Minister Samuel Weah, has not been able to give his periodic report. Budget for performance report is required by law. Mr. Weah has not been able to do that, and President Weah maintains him anyway. Our government made a total promises of 113. They are in year 4, they only accomplished 8%. All projections by the World Bank, there was a projection in 2017 that the forecast was the Liberian economy was going to grow by 3%. What happened? The economy grew less than 1%. The same World Bank again in 2018 projected a growth rate of 5.3%. The economy grew by it grew less than 1%. In 2019, the very World Bank again projected another growth rate for Liberia, 5.7%. The economy grew less than 1%. And this is another projection by the very World Bank telling us that the economy will grow by 3.2%. And that was captured in President Weah's annual message. And he's going to celebrate that. I'm breaking that because all other projections before President Weah, before President Weah, the fundamentals of our economy were a little bit okay, even though there was one budget shortfall after the other. But at that time, at least the prices of basic commodity were a little bit okay. At least the government was generating a little more revenue. And yet, folks, all projections fell flat. The 3 the 3.5, this 5.7, all projected by World Bank could not materialize. And so for the president to be using the projection of 3.2 for 2021 growth rate as an indication that the fundamentals of our economy remain strong is another lie. You cannot depend on that because these are projections. For these things to materialize, there got to be good policies put into place, good measures like austerity measures, cutting down some of the unnecessary spending, trying to balance your budget. These are the things that help to serve as a catalyst for that particular projected rate to materialize. But when the government is reckless in terms of spending the little resources it has, when the government is allotting $44 million for legislature and only allotting a little less of the budget for development, when the government is allotting almost around 60% on recurring expenses, how in the world are you going to realize these projections? And so, folks, let's come to the president talking about the executive orders. Talking about executive orders. So let's look at some executive orders and let's see what the government has been up to. Let's look at executive orders on tariff. Executive orders on what? Tariff of rice. Rice is our major food. The last time I talked to somebody, they said a cup of rice in Liberia now is around $100. Up to now, I can't believe it. And so some of you who are listening to me, if that is true, I will appreciate. I see my sister Akia Dan is watching here. Akia Dan, if it is true that a cup of rice is around $75 to $100, please say something here. Let me know, because someone told me that I don't want to believe it. When President Weah took over, talking about the fundamentals of the economy as strong and sound, a cup of rice was $25. And later on, it started climbing when he took over, 40, 50. And now I'm hearing 100 Liberian dollars for a cup of rice. And the president is telling us the fundamentals of the economy remain strong. Where's the proper rice? Where is the proper rice? A rice that was donated and repackaged and were made to believe that the government was yet to sustain this thing, to ease the burden on our people. The president, we are telling you that he have experienced the pain of hunger and poverty. Yes, he did. Yes, he ate coconut with farina. I did that. So when someone tells me I'm hungry, I know what it means. And so when I am in a position of power, I will not sleep. I will not rest to make sure that situation is under control. He lived in the slums. He lived with a grandmother. He knew how it is for the grandmom to hustle to find food for you. And so that time, a cup of rice, I can't remember, maybe it was 25 cents then. You know, when I was a kid, I don't know, I can't remember exactly how much more when it is $100 now. Come to think about it, that should get you on your feet every day. But let's see the executive orders President Weah has issued to help with the tariff on rice so that it can be affordable for our people. There was one executive order the president released some time ago. They have the laundry list of all the basic things, chicken feet and this, that, to the point that some people started calling our president chicken feet president and all that. Those did not come down. Those prices never came down. There has not been a single commodity in Liberia that has experienced a drop in its price since the president took power. If anybody can prove me wrong, I will appreciate that, because I don't want to be a liar man. I don't want to be like your government officials and the president who have resorted to nothing of a liar man. Fundamentals of the economy strong and that you are working. Seriously? So this is the projected growth rate the president was floating about. And the projected growth rate is 3.2 according to the IMF. The very IMF, the World Bank, I just gave you statistics. They did that before. They always done it. It had never worked. Yeah, you have the numbers. 2017, they projected 3. It grew less than 1. 2018, they projected 5.3. It grew less than 1%. 2019, they projected 5.7. It grew less than 1%. So when you are talking about 2021, I don't think it's going to work, because it has never worked consistently, folks. And I got these numbers from the central bank website. So these are not things that I'm just making up, folks. We do our research here. So the president cannot fool us on a projection. Do you know that at some point the projected growth rate for 2020 was 0.4%? And even for our government to achieve that 0.4%, the IMF had emphasized that the government need to take a serious austerity measure in order to achieve that 0.4%. So tell me, when they were projected at 3, it was never accomplished. 3.5, it was never accomplished. 5.7, it was never accomplished. Then you come to think about 0.4. So 2020, your guess is as good as mine. I think we have reached the peak of an economic collapse in 2023. In 2020. We have reached it. 2021, projected rate of 3.2. You can't use that to showcase that you have been working. No, I'm not going to buy it, because the facts are not on your side, Mr. President. The facts are not on your side. So let me bring you quickly here, folks. These executive orders, the president boasted about 6 executive orders. 6 executive orders that he had issued. And he didn't stop there. He said the executive orders were intended to ease the economic situation in the country. So let's look at executive order, and it is only on what? Tariff. There are a lot of executive order, to stimulate economic growth. I'm not going to bore you with that one. I'm not an economist, but the one I understand how prices move up and down. I know it. Anybody knows it. All right. So let me bring you executive orders here from the president. Let's start with let's go back to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf first of all. Let's look at some executive order. And what I've seen here is, I'm going to prove to you folks, it seems to be these guys are so lazy that whatever Ellen did, executive order Ellen did sometime in the past, they just copy and paste and change the date and release it and say, yeah, the government is working. That is what they have been up to. And this is the reason why these executive orders have never worked. And so for the president to come and throw the idea of issuing 6 executive orders intended to improve the living condition of our people, when in fact the executive order are complete nothing but emptiness and have never worked for our people, it just baffles me. It definitely does. So let's look at them. And I'm going to historicize this thing so you will know that this guy is not picking bone with this government. He just wants the best for our country. And exactly that is what I want. I want a government that works for the people. The government that is accountable to the people. The government that will say what it wants to say and does it. So let's talk executive orders, because the president make a big deal about it, that he issued 6 of them, and those 6 were intended to help to improve the living standard of our people, because the president claimed that he understands the pain of hunger and poverty and that he has lived. And I agree with him. But how has he been able to live his words by actions? That is what I want to find out. And so if you are here watching the political analysis of the president's speech, you need to pay attention because I'm bringing you balanced, fair, comprehensive analysis based on the facts and no malice whatsoever. And if you don't like that, I don't know what you're going to do. Because I'm not going to economize with the truth here. That is my job. That when these politicians come and tell you these things in a very flashy fashion, when they come on a camera, I too have a camera, I too have a platform that I work for, and I will give it to you straight because they don't want to give it to you straight. So let's talk executive orders, folks. Let's talk executive order. Executive order 74. Executive Order 74. And before I do that, let me show you where I'm getting the information from so that most of you will know that. So, folks, let me show you here. This is the Executive Mansion website. This is the Executive Mansion website. You see it? I am going into the office of the president and taking information from there. So when we are giving you analysis, it's based on their own words. It's based on things that they said they would do for the Liberian people. It's based on documents that they have crafted saying that they are well-intentioned and they meant well for our people. So let's talk executive orders. According to the president, he did issue 6 of them that were intended to improve the living standard of our people. And it is on that basis, on the basis of these executive orders, the president is telling us the fundamentals of our economy are sound and strong, and that they have been working for the past 18 months. And those are the things responsible for the soundness and how strong the fundamentals of our economy have been. So let's talk executive order. So you see, this is the Executive Mansion website, right? So I'm going to Executive Order 74. They list them here. Let's go to number 70. Let me see my list here, 74. All right, this one said suspension of tariffs on rice. Now, let me open it up for you, folks. Let me open it up for you. Let me make it big. Bear with me here. Let me make it big so you can be able to read it, folks. And folks, welcome to Focus on Liberia. This is the Hour of Politics with me, Ansony Sieh. I'm doing a political analysis and trying to dissect the president's speech, trying to unearth all the lies and deceptions, and half-baked truths that they projected in that speech that is completely a speech, nothing short of a liar man. And that is what I'm doing here. So this is Executive Order number 11. Now, let me show you who signed this one. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf signed the one. You see right here? Now, it was signed on the 12th day of February, 2018. Let's read a little bit. It says, whereas the government has constituted a committee to examine the causes and increases in the prices, in the price of strategic commodity to recommend to government on the corrective measure to be taken. Pending the finding of the committee study, there is an urgent need to curb the continual increases in the price of rice to the public. Watch that language, and that is the one I want you to pay attention to examine the causes of increase. Causes. So this was Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, right? All right, let's go back, folks. Now, let's look at executive, this one that is listed 66. Bear with me, folks. 66. Let's go to 66. We're giving you what Ellen has been up to. And it is the same tariff on what? Rice. And I will share my little knowledge with you on what tariff is. For some of you who may not have knowledge, I'm not an economist, but I'll break it down. So here's it. Executive Order 19. All right. Suspension of tariffs on rice. Again, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, you see the trend? Ellen was making effort. Ellen was making effort. But despite this effort by Ellen herself, there was an increase in the price year after year. With Weah changed that. Will the change government come in and change that trend? Or will they do copy and paste with this same executive order, the same language, and just put their pen through it to tell our people that they really mean well? Let me bring that to you. Listen again. Let me read the first line. Is it big enough for you to read? Let me put a little plus on it again. Fine. Maybe you can read it now. Now, it reads, whereas the government constituted a committee to examine the cause of increases. Same language. Same language. They're trying to find the causes responsible or the reason why the price of rice was going up at the time. They're trying to find it, and they finished finding it. So now, this is what they're going to do. Now, therefore, the government of Liberia, in its desire to continue bringing relief to the public, hereby extend executive number 11, blah, 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 blah. Signed, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. This is the 3rd day of March, AD 2009. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. You see the trend? Listen to the language. The language has been consistent. And you see that this isn't just been copying and just pasting. Just to tell our people that they are up to something when they are up to nothing. And I will tell you what a serious government of change will do to change the fundamentals of the economy. So let's go to number 58. All right, let me see 58. 58 again. This is another executive order. Let me make it big again. And now, look here. It reads, suspension of tariff on rice. They still trying to suspend tariff on rice. Whereas the government of Liberia has conducted an assessment and evaluation of the causes of increases in the price. The same language. And they come here. Now, therefore, the government of Liberia, in its desire to continue to bring relief to the public, hereby extend executive number 19. You following the trend. This one was signed by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the 4th day of January 2013. Ellen, the 3rd time signing executive order. Where am I going with this? Just follow the flow. Let me tell you why these people, because the president said they have been working. Let me see the work. Just copying and paste, is that the work? So let's look at 32, number 32 here. Another executive order. Let's see. Executive order number 70. All right. This one again, signed by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. If you can see it right here, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Whereas the government of Liberia is committed to ensuring that the price of certain basic commodity on the Liberian market are at levels that do not impose unnecessary burden on the population. Whereas government conducted an assessment and evaluation of the causes and increases, the same language, the causes and increases in the price. Can you imagine that? Now, therefore, the government, in a desire to continue bringing relief to the public, extend, same language, year after year, and the price will continue to go up and up. And Liberian people will go to the pool and say no to the Unity Party and elect what they felt at the time was a changed government. And that changed government will come to power. Instead of reversing, all right, coming on with a brand new strategy to tackle the issue of rice, maybe increase, open the market up, make sure there are more importers, maybe come with subsidy for the importation of rice, that the rice market is now monopolized in the country, so that as many people as possible can import rice in the country, whereas they could maybe go as far as opening zones in the country that will be stocked with rice, so that getting to the product can be easier for Liberians. They will not do it. Instead, they will resort to the same hanging fruits, the low-hanging fruit Ellen Johnson Sirleaf were up to. So on the Executive Mansion website again, we are looking at we just there with 32. Let's go to 17. Number 17 here. Executive Order number 80. Executive Order number 87. Yeah, again. Whereas the government of Liberia, to ensure the prices of certain commodity on the market are affordable and do not impose unnecessary burden on the Liberian people, whereas government has conducted an assessment and evaluation on the causes and increases in the process of blah, blah, blah. The rise they're talking about again. Then they come here. Now, therefore, the government, in a desire to continue bringing relief to the public, hereby extend. This is what our government has been up to, folks. Copying and pasting one language over and over and doing the same thing over and over, that does not bring the desired result for our people. This is what they have been able to do. And so when Liberians elected a quote unquote change government, they were expecting something different, a different approach this time around that would be able to lead to an actual reduction of the price of rice so our people can be able to afford. We heard our president in the State of the Nation address, folks, telling us that he has experienced the pain of hunger and poverty. But what did he do? And here you have it. This is President George Weah now, executive order. He said he signed 6. So if you look here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the ones he said that he signed that improve the fundamentals of our economy. One of those executive orders having to be the one on rice. So now we come to Weah. So you saw the trend on Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. You saw the trend, one thing over and over. The price of rice continued to go up. And President Weah, the change agent, came in. The CDC, the change government came in. And what did they do? They only copy from Ellen and paste and put their signature. And they want us to clap. And they want to tell us that the problem is solved. So this is President George Weah, executive order. Let's read, my people. Pay attention to the language. This is a complete copy and paste. Whereas the government of Liberia is committed to ensuring that the prices of certain basic commodities on the Liberian market, including rice, are affordable and do not impose unnecessary burden on the Liberian people. Number 2, whereas government having conducted an assessment and evaluation on the causes and increases in the prices, you see the language? Causes and increases, government after government, and we were thinking that this one will do something different. They are still conducting evaluation and assessments on the causes. How many governments have to conduct an assessment on the causes responsible for the increases in the price of the rice? How many governments and how many times does a government have to do this? And it is all because all they do is just sign it and tell the people we're taking action. Whether they go to the free port to ensure that those things are implemented anyway, they don't care. They sign it and they sit in the office. They drink beer and they think they have accomplished anything for the people. And the people linger in abject poverty. And their favorite line, now, therefore, the government of Liberia, in a desire to continue bringing relief to the public, hereby issue executive order, blah, blah, blah. Who signed it? President George Weah. This one he signed here, February 2020. To be exact, the 4th of February 2020, he signed this one. Has the rice price come down? President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf did this thing about 4 different times. Reducing tariff on rice, it never came down. Weah came is the same format. No wonder why he graded Ellen 85%. Copy and paste, copy and paste. What do you expect will come out of the very thing that Ellen did for the time she was in 12 years, and you came as a change agent and you want to do the same thing? Copy and paste, copy and paste. And you think that's going to stimulate any economic growth, and you think that's going to help to reduce the price of rice. And for your information, President Weah did this thing 2 times. 2 times. Executive order to reduce the price of rice. So let me tell you why a serious government, I think I tried to tell you earlier, so you know this is the staple food. Rice in Liberia is a political commodity. You are the change government. the price of rice has been going up. Ellen used executive order upon executive order. It did not work. And you came, and the change is for you to follow through with your own executive orders, and you think that's going to help. So, folks, let me see whether or not someone was able to tell me something about this price of rice. Folks, did anybody tell me anything? I want to know what the price of rice is not $100. I don't want to believe that, folks. I do not want to believe that. And so, folks, let me conclude so I can read your comment. I hit my 1 hour already. Let me conclude so I will read your comments and make it a little bit participatory here. So for President Weah to be telling us the fundamentals of the economy are strong, he's lying and he's not telling the truth. So let me close with this, folks. Let me close with this. Let me close with this. Oh, no, that is not the one. This is the one. This is the one. So the other thing the president talked about, okay, yeah, it is. Let me read it. Let me read it for you. Apart from standing by me as a loyal and caring partner, the First Lady continued to touch the lives of many young people. I mean, many young women, young men, and the elderly alike through the implementation of humanitarian projects. Underscore humanitarian projects. Yes, humanitarian projects honor her own initiatives. Honor the Clark Hope Foundation. Many projects have directly impacted many Liberians. They include the construction of a home for the elderly and disabled in Buchanan, Grand Bassa County, the rehabilitation of orphanages in several counties, a program to feed the elderly, provision of medical supply, foreign scholarships to vocational training for young people, among many others. I thank you for your hard work and support, Madam First Lady. Oh, Lord. Folks, you see that? The president is telling us that the First Lady has been very loyal and hardworking and has been doing humanitarian work through her foundation. And let me be crystal clear. To those who support the government, it is your right. But you do not have authority over the facts. No one does. The fact has authority over itself, and those of us who are believers of the facts will use the facts to get things right. Yes, the president and the First Lady did not have any foundation upon or before becoming president and First Lady. They never had. You cannot be elected as president and then your wife now is having a foundation. Usually presidents and First Lady come up with these things when they are out of office. In Liberia, it's a whole different ballgame. And our government, the government of Liberia, has been funding this foundation. And President Weah want you to tell he and his wife thanks for using your country money, your money, for his wife to be carrying on humanitarian work. He wants you to tell him thank you. And that is the hard work that they have been up to. Yes, he talked about scholarship, orphanage home, feeding our seniors. The last night I saw a video of our seniors being fed by the First Lady. They were in line. They were carrying plastic bags filled with few cups of rice. And that is the feeling the president is telling us. They have reduced our people to men beggars in their own country. They had to form a line. This foundation was birthed after the president got elected. They had no foundation, nowhere whatsoever, when they were not in the presidency. But upon being blessed by the Liberian people to serve them, in no time, there was a foundation funded called I don't know what's the name again, Weah Hope Foundation. And this is where the government or the president and Samuel has been directing our funds, and they are telling us they are carrying on humanitarian work. Seriously. That is corruption at the core. You cannot be a sitting president and run a foundation through your wife claiming that you are carrying on humanitarian work. That is sad, and that is unfortunate. Folks, so President Weah say no mistakes, right? And that people should take it. If the president Weah is serious, he really wants us to see it. Let him fire Samuel Tua, but he can't do it. Let him fire Mange. He can't do it. The man can fire one Modike, the Nigerian guy that where he will fire. Folks, let me read your comments. Yeah, I've said enough. Let me read your comments. Let me read your comments, folks. Let me start from the top to the bottom. All right, this one is from Nimba Massacre, Washington. This is from Dave Jar. What are the fundamentals of the Liberian economy in the first place? Oh, my brother, very good question. What are the fundamentals of the Liberian economy in the first place? The banking sector, we can't get the money. The private sector, people can't get jobs. The president talked about in the proper agenda that the proper agenda was going to create 1 million jobs. The president made the argument that they created a job. The president will not tell us the number of jobs they created. So, Dave Jad, very good question. What are the fundamentals of the economy? I just gave you some of the fundamentals, and, or some sectors, if you like. Jerry Wilson. Talking about liar man. There's I think it said dog. Yeah, liar man. Calling the president a liar man. This one is from Fallon Saki. Reality talks concerning the president's suite. Vin talks to the people in his annual speech to the nation. Let's see the one for Austin Tama. Following religiously from a Slum community in Negro Town, District 16. That is my political district, but I'm not sure my people there are loving me right now because I am throwing punches here. No, this guy, he's not somebody who comment we should read here. Momo Nelson, welcome, boss. I'm here, comfortably seated in studio. Happy New Year, my friend. Joseph Taylor, can't believe that Liberia's economy is so bad off. I cry for my people since I left in 86. Since I lived in 86, okay. Questley Double, the executive mansion is always in the habit of posting bunch of lies. Questley Double there. Tony Ambrose, 419, President, 419, Josh, we are government aids. Questley Double again, a government that comes to power with little or no idea as to how a country is led. I think he meant to say there. Tony again, Georgia is doing the same thing. Yeah, we copying from Ellen. Marie Quada, my brother, Liberians don't have government right. Liberians don't have government right now. We have only Hitlers, she writes. Okay, so those will be our comments so far. Folks in cyberspace, thank you for your participation here. I focus on Liberia. Yeah, I focus on Liberia. We educate, we elevate, and promote all things Liberia. So let me close with this, folks. The president was dead wrong when he said that the fundamentals of our economy are strong and sound. There's nothing sound about an economy in which young people can't get jobs. There's nothing strong and sound about an economy in which people cannot access their own money in the banks. There's nothing strong and sound about an economy in which an individual will show up to a bank asking for $5,000 of their own money, and a bank that is not the owner of that money will tell the person, we can only give you $2,000 after the person might have spent $500 or more for transportation. That is not sound. That is not strong. No, it's not. It's not sound. It's not strong. So the president is dead wrong for telling our people, for telling our bullshit lies in our faces that the fundamentals of our economy are strong. No. When young people cannot find jobs and counting lamp posts every day, when parents cannot afford school fees and daily meals for their children, then the fundamentals of our economy are not strong, Mr. President. You are not telling the truth. You brought us a state of lies and nothing but lies. No, the fundamentals of our economy are weak and unsound, very terrible. Terrible to understand that there has been one budget shortfall after the other. Terrible and unsound to the point that nurses were continuing to protest, to the point that Achi Pompon have to set himself on fire. A man who has been working for the judicial branch of government. Unsound to the point that lawmakers will not even be able to pay their staff, that legislative staffers will go and protest for pay. Unsound to the point that people who work for the National Election Commission will have to go and protest before they can get their pay. The economy is so unsound, so bad, to the point that water and sewer will have to protest. That people even at RIA will have to protest for their pay. And there has been protests one after another for pay. The economy is not strong. It is not sound, Mr. President. Start lying to us. You were crying that in your own country, that the people are trying to track you down. Maybe you are right. You need to be tracked down because of these lies that you are telling. No one in their right mind, including yourself and Samuel 12, believes that the economy, that the fundamentals of our economy are sound and strong. Do not lie to us anymore. No, do not lie to us anymore. When our mothers and sisters are in the market and selling and they are not making profit and they have to be running here and there just to get their goods, and at the end of the day made no profit, and you tell us that the fundamentals of our economy are sound and strong. No. Oh, just because Samuel 12 lied to you that there's budget surplus. And yet, in the midst of the budget surplus, Mr. President, you have not been able to pay Liberia's bill to the African Union to understand that Liberia was reduced to a floor member. Liberia was a fundamental member, but reduced. If the fundamentals of our economy were very strong, you will be able to generate the necessary resources to be able to pay our bills. But that has not been the case. So, Mr. President, next time when you come by, tell us the truth. Don't sugarcoat it, because sugarcoating it is as worse as even telling us the lie in the first place. For we know the fundamentals are not sound. They are weak. On that note, folks, in cyberspace, my name is Ansony Sieh. I'm the host of the Hour of Politics. And I tell you, politics is not for babies. We can use our politics to tell the truth, and the truth will set us free. But the gentleman here, our president, did not tell us the truth. He should be the last man to lie in our faces, especially in a time when we are all going through economic trauma. He should be the last person to come and tell us that the fundamentals of our economy are strong and sound. Nothing is sound about this economy when 113 promises were made and only 8%, constituting 9, completed in 3 years. You come and tell us the fundamentals of our economy are strong. No, Mr. President, you did not tell us the truth. And please, do not do that next time. Because the last thing we want right now is for you to come and lie to us. And so, folks, let me share this with you.
We were flogged in Cape Mount. We were flogged in Bong. We were flogged. The midterm came. We were annihilated with political defeat. If anyone tells you that the popularity of our president and the love the people have for him will get him elected in 2023 if the situation does not change, tell them, say, Fangon, say, you damn lie.
That was Minister Eugene Fagon. He couldn't have said it louder and better. This is Fagon telling you in his own language and indirectly that the fundamentals of our economy are not sound and strong to the point that the government suffered a massive defeat. He used the word they were annihilated. It's almost like saying they were wiped out. And the president will come, and this is his information minister, telling us that if nothing changes in the country, and somebody comes in front of him and tells him that they will win in 2023, he said, tell that person, I'm going to say, you damn lie. So things must change. So we hope the president he means well, that no room for mistake. But let me share something with you.
The wrong decision. You have to stand up and tell people that your decision you made was never wrong. So you gotta vote for your party. So this is CDC going for the election. This is not Thomas Fala alone. But Thomas Fala is the face that will be on the ballot representing the CDC. So we gotta turn up that would never turn up before to make sure that we deliver the party. So I'm very grateful for the work you are doing. So, as my own contribution to the petty trader, I am pledging just a small contribution for you to run your government. I'm pledging $2 million Liberian.
So, folks, one president, we have told you that they have been working for the past 18 months. That Thomas Father campaign they were busy about. You saw Samuel 12 all over the place. There is Mange. In my neighborhood in Nikrutan, Douala, the market woman there got a little organization. He gave them $2 million. $2 million Liberian. Mange getting $2 million to give to market women. That's the way they've been onto. They've been busy. President Weah might be right that they were busy. And that's why the fundamentals of the economy remain strong. That's how busy they get. Going around campaigning and giving money. Last but not the least, let's hear from the fiscal officer, the chief fiscal officer, the brain behind the president, the brain behind the CDC government, the guy who says it all for them.
It's a great day where we're on the path to reclaiming Montserrat County. Let me tell you a fact that you need to know. The Samuel Kenya George Sports Complex has only been filled for a Lone Star game. The only political personality that filled that stadium for a political event was George Weah. At his inauguration, the stadium was filled. For the first time in the history of the country, a political party in ruling, in governance, is going to fill the SKD with more than 35 to 40,000 human beings. And you're going to have about 30,000 outside the stadium. So that means we're going to have more than 70,000 people coming out. This is the first time in the history of the country that has happened. And it has happened in the midterm of the CDC administration. That means the star is in the ascendant. The possibilities are bigger going forward in 2023. We will bring out 200,000 Liberians to celebrate the president.
So look at the turnout today. Are you confident that you will win the December 8th election in Montserrat County?
I'm telling you, no political political party has filled the stadium. Any political party, especially a political party, 3 years into this administration, filling the stadium means is going to do a landslide in the midterm senatorial.
What are the issues that people will be voting on?
The issues are clear. We have brought down inflation from 30% to 12%. We have stabilized the macroeconomics of the country. About 1 year ago, we were in.
So, folks, you heard it. Mr. Weah told us, our president told us, that they have been very busy. Very, very, very busy. And that because they have been busy working hard, that is what is responsible for the soundness of the market, of the economy. And let me read that for you. Although the state of our economy is challenged, the fundamentals remain sound and strong. That soundness and strength is based on the very hard work we have delivered over the past 18 months. So you saw the hard work, right? Weah have been busy campaigning. Mange has been busy campaigning. Mange have been busy campaigning, giving money to people in Douala. $2 million Liberian dollars to petty traders. That's the basic work that they have been up to. Maybe the president is right. You saw Samuel Weah, a finance minister, with a burial, drunk in a car, saying that they were going to win landslide. Oh, yeah, it paid off. They won landslide in Monserrado County, isn't it? So maybe President Weah was right. They were busy running campaign. They were busy dividing money around along with Thomas Fowler. Yes, they have been busy. That is why the fundamentals of our economy remain strong. Strong enough to the extent that Mange can give $2 million. Strong enough that Samuel Weah can call people and pay them and buy them to come to the CDC. Strong enough that Thomas Fowler will divide money to young people in the streets of Monrovia. They pay available $3 million for Thomas Fowler. This is fact. For them to win a single seat in Monserrado County. So they've been busy. And you listen to Samuel Weah, when the journalist pressing about what would be the issues that the people will be voting on, for which they will get elected, he said they have stabilized the macroeconomic challenges. I'm not an economist. I'm not a student of business. I am a student of political science. But what Samuel Weah is telling you, the money problems in the country has been stabilized. Samuel Weah said that just around November, at the end of November. Election was December the 8th. That was when CDC launched. CDC launched pretty close to the election, when they attempted to fill the stadium. That was Samuel Weah telling you that they have stabilized the macroeconomic challenges in the country, and that they have reduced inflation from 30% to 12%. And I think you heard that in the president's speech. That speech was a bunch of Samuel Weah talking points. So, folks, yes, they said they've been busy, but they've been busy to fill their pockets. They have been busy to please themselves. They have been busy to make themselves feel that they are working. But they have not been busy for you. No. Weah, really? You have stabilized the macroeconomic challenges in our country. A month later, our people can't access money. A month later, they said they want to print $27 billion. And it comes with a price tag, huge enough to scare you. $27.5 million to print $27 billion. And Weah, just a month and few weeks ago, was telling us that they have stabilized the macroeconomic challenges in the country. Do you not believe me now when I tell you that these guys are doing nothing but lying. So, folks, what you saw, the individual that read that speech was nothing short of a liar man. The fundamentals of our economy are not strong. The fundamentals of our economy are not strong. They are not sound. They are unsound. They are weak, and lies will not call it. Fake and empty executive orders will not call it. Telling us about roads will not call it. You have to fix it. And those who are not performing, for which we continue to be dogged by the economic wolves, Mr. Weah must muster the courage to take action. The recalibration narrative died natural death. Our friends in the CDC, well, we're going to recalibrate. You have nothing in your spine to recalibrate about. Because a true recalibration won't be able to wipe the lives of Wambo Dike and Samuel Twe and Mage out. And he does not have the nerves to do it. And he will never do it. And that is why the fundamentals of our economy are unsound, are weak, and are unsustainable. And we can't do it. Folks in cyberspace, thank you for following this political analysis. As always, I'm your guy, Ansony Sieh, bringing you analysis, balance, and I'm also using the facts as a catalyst to navigate you through my analysis. We don't tell lies here. We use their own words to hold them accountable on the issues. You can't find this kind of balance and fair analysis of issue anywhere, because we are focused on Liberia. We educate, we elevate, and we promote all things Liberia. We must promote a disco that is based on facts and truths, not disco based on lies and innuendos and exaggeration. No. Only here I focus on Liberia. You can find that. Again, my name is Sieh, meaning good. I'm a good guy. You can take it to my bank and you can cash it in the money. It's not no banks in Liberia where you go get your money, then you don't get your money. No, don't try that. The song says we are all Liberians. Enjoy that song. Until I see you again, it's bye-bye from us here at Focus on Liberia. Bye now.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our